if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares. Standing right there.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'll be flying to Chicago from London, and I'll be revisiting British Airways business class. So today I'll be flying the Boeing 787 instead of the A350 from last time, and I'll also be sitting at a window seat instead of an aisle seat, so hopefully a totally new experience for this video. And with that being said, I'm also going to be looking out for and seeing if British Airways has improved in any way in terms of quality of service, their food. And with that being said, it's currently 4:30, so it's super dark outside. I haven't packed completely yet, so I'm gonna finish packing right now. And after that, I head straight to the airport in London, and then I'll see you guys in the airport first. For today's flight, I headed to London Heathrow Terminal 5, as this is the terminal strictly for British Airways. It was a super busy day at the airport, so I headed to British Airways North Club Lounge to check out what they had. And going into the lounge, it was also pretty busy. I had a really long journey to the airport and a really long day, so I was super tired, and the food didn't look appetizing enough, so I just wasn't hungry. So I got myself 2 drinks instead. I got myself a fruit smoothie and a peach iced tea. These drinks were really refreshing while I waited for my flight. Soon after that, I was given the gate number which I should be at, and found that I had to take a transport bus to the plane, and after driving around the airport for 5 to 10 minutes, we finally arrived to the plane. As soon as I got onto the plane, I noticed that the plane was smaller than the A350 I had previously flown on, and in terms of the interior design of the Club World cabin, it seems pretty much identical. However, for today's flight, I was seated beside the window instead of the middle rows, so the seat was slightly different. After putting my baggage in the overhead compartment, it was then time to take off. And at the start of the flight, I was offered champagne and orange juice, and here I chose orange juice. I was also given a menu showing the variety of foods that were going to be offered for the meals of the flight. Now that we have reached cruising altitude, I got another orange juice and a roasted nut mix. And after consuming these, it's time to give a quick tour of the seat. Starting with the window side, you have the same storage space design as the A350. You have this thin vertical compartment with a built-in mirror, and you even get given a bottle of water and a little travel bag. And beside that, there are 2 other compartments. The smaller one was able to fit my phone and some things from my pockets, and beside that is the larger one housing a remote for the entertainment system and a lot of charging ports and of course storage space. And right underneath that larger compartment, you can see a touchscreen to adjust your seat, but they also have preset buttons too. In front of the seat, you have an extendable table which is pulled out by pressing a button underneath. On the other side of the seat, towards the middle of the plane, you have an adjustable armrest and of course the closing door. Shifting our attention to the screen and the entertainment system, there's a huge collection of TV shows, music, games, and movies. And in terms of the quality of video, it is pretty good. Now directing our attention to the windows, I didn't get to sit by the windows last time, but I believe the features are the same for both planes. The windows don't have blinds, instead there are 5 levels of tint that can be adjusted on the window, so you can make it extremely dark while still being able to see the view outside. And here you can see the difference between no tint and the most tint. And right before I enjoy the first meal of the flight, I have to close the door. So for the first meal of the flight, I was given a starter, main, and dessert. So for my starter, I chose this beef carpaccio. It was also served with a bread, butter, and a salad. Trying the beef carpaccio, it was delicious. Even though it wasn't completely raw, the taste of the beef is rich, savory, and meaty, with a delicate texture. It is complemented by other ingredients it was served with and has so much umami and freshness. After this, I had my main course, which was this butter chicken curry. The curry sauce was super rich and creamy and delicious when paired with the basmati rice. However, the chicken was the letdown as it was on the dry side. And finally, for dessert, I got a warm caramelized sour cherry and almond pudding served with vanilla sauce. Personally, I wasn't a fan of the sour cherry in the middle, but the almond pudding itself with the vanilla sauce was nice, warm and spongy. It had the right amount of sweetness for me and was a perfect way to end the meal. I then proceeded to get some rest. And then a few hours later, when I woke up and was approaching Chicago, I then got given another meal, which is this afternoon tea set. Here I had a roast beef brioche, a roasted vegetable and hummus sandwich, and a prawn brioche. It also came with a scone, passion fruit cheesecake, and this other coffee tasting cake. With this meal, I also had a coffee. In terms of taste, everything was on point. I really enjoyed the roast beef and prawn brioches. The cheesecake and the scone were also good. However, the only bad thing was the roasted vegetable and hummus sandwich. I didn't really think the roasted flavor paired well with the hummus, and just overall the sandwich just wasn't really good. An hour after this meal, it was then time for the flight to descend into the Chicago O'Hare Airport. Concluding the experience, I have to start by saying that I preferred my time with British Airways this time compared to last time, because I felt like the window seat, even with the same design as the aisle seat, had more privacy, just because of the nature of it being on the side of the plane rather than in the middle where people could look in on you from all different directions. Aside from the seat, I also felt like the food on the flight was so much better. The last time I was with British Airways, I thought the food was good, but this time the food was a step up from that and was fantastic. In terms of the differences between the actual planes themselves, there isn't many. Even though the Boeing 787-10 is a smaller plane and is slightly newer, the only thing I noticed, like I said before, was the plane interior was smaller, so the seats were much closer to each other and the walkway was slightly narrower. However, I do want to note that the seat and pod sizes still remain the same. And finally, in terms of the quality of service of British Airways, I still believe that the staff were super friendly and helpful whether I was in the airport or on the plane. Alright guys, now I'm here in Chicago and that pretty much wraps up today's video. I made a lot of references to the A350 from my previous video, so I'll put that video link in the description below. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed and found the video useful. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!